So one of today's activities was to go find houseplants or maybe a plant outside and count the leaves. So I started looking at the plants that I have in my house, and they have lots of leaves. The ones that had the fewer amount of leaves were like this plant here. This is called an orchid. You see the pretty flowers? And I could count the leaves that were on here. One, this one, kind of, somebody chewed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like there's 5 leaves on this orchid plant. I wonder if you could count the flowers. Look, there's 2 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 flowers on it. Now I have other plants that have lots of leaves, and it would be hard to count them. Do you know what this plant is called? It's called a Christmas cactus. It's one of my favorites because when it blooms, see, it's got one bloom right here. It blooms twice a year, at Christmas time and around Easter time. But there's lots of leaves on here. It would take me a really long time to count those. And that's okay. You can try and see how high you can count, because it's a good thing to practice our counting. I also have this plant, which is called a jade plant. And you see that? You see the leaves on there? That's another one. It has a lot, but you could also count the leaves that are on there. This plant, let's see, it's got a tag in it. Let me see what it's called. It's called Sativia. Other people call it a snake plant because it kind of looks like a snake. You could try to count these leaves. You see those leaves? Over here, I have a plant that's a sedum plant. I'm not sure which kind of sedum it is, but sedum plants, they can be in the same family as cacti. They tend to like drier climates, but it's kind of stretched out. Do you see how it's got all leaves all along there? Pretty shiny, aren't they? Here's another one. Maybe it needs a new pot. Looks like it's growing out of the pot. I have something else that's growing inside my house. Probably not too many people have it. Oh, here's Artie. If you listened to the video this morning about the calendar and the weather, this is who was making all the noise. Artie was upset because he was hungry and he hadn't had breakfast yet. So Artie, I think you need to apologize to our friends for being so loud. So this is grass. It's called wheatgrass. The cats like it. My dog likes it. And it's very good for you. Believe it or not, when I was a kid, my mom would grow wheatgrass. And when I would get an earache, she would roll it up in her hand till it got mushy, and she'd put it in my ear. And it almost felt like magic. It would pull the pain out of my ear. So plants can do lots of good things for us. Just got sneezed on by the cat. So another thing you can do is feel the leaves and see what they feel like. So this plant, this was our jade plant. They're really smooth and they're kind of thick. But you could feel those. Think of words you can use to describe the leaves. This one is really kind of stiff. It's got pokies. I don't know if you can see that. Right on the end. I also had fake plants. This was hanging in my bedroom. So none of these are real leaves, but if you have fake plants at home, you can feel the leaves and see what they're like. Sorry, that was a phone call. The other thing I did was I went outside and I found, this is called catmint. It's kind of fuzzy and it has kind of a minty smell. When you dry it, it's what cats like and it's called catnip. Here was something else. This was part of a vine. This is called a Boston, I think it's called a Boston vine. It's a kind of vine, but look at the leaves. Do you see? These are the veins. Look at the lines that are on them. And the leaf itself, it's almost like a triangle, isn't it? So think about the different shapes of the leaves and how they feel. Here's something else. This is called yarrow. It grows a big yellow flower in the summer. It's still kind of soft, but it's got lots of points on it. Let me look in here. I had something else. Oh, this. This is one of my mom's favorite plants. It's called lamb's ears. Oh, and look, Ahsoka joined us too. Can you see that? It's fuzzy like a lamb, or what a lamb's ear would feel like. So these, I have these growing in my garden. They're really soft. There's also some grass. I decided to weed some grass out of my flower bed. There's a big grass leaves. Do you see how long they are? Maybe you could measure them and see how long the grass is. There's some weeds that I pulled out. Now, do you remember when I showed you this before when we were doing what's alive and what's not alive? It's called an allium flower. This is it dried, but now the leaves are starting to come up in my garden, and I'll show you what the leaf looks like. They're soft and long. They almost feel rubbery, but they do have little spikies on the end. They're not spikies that hurt, but they just point up a little bit. And this came from one of the trees that I have in the backyard. I think it's more of a juniper tree, something like that. And these are a little bit spiky. So you can go around your yard and you can find different leaves. Just be careful. Talk to your parents or your adult who's with you and make sure that they're safe because we don't want you to get hurt. But you can count the different kinds of leaves that you find. You can even bring them in and look at them. What colors are they? What do they feel like? What do you see? There's lines. Maybe there's some bugs that ate them. Who knows? Maybe Ahsoka took a bite out of them. All right, guys. I will see you later. Hope you have a fun day. It's a beautiful day outside. Go for a walk with your parents. Love you. Bye.